What's going on, guys? We are here with a special video. As you can tell, we're going to be unboxing the Thrustmaster Eswap X Pro controller that just came out today, and it's available at Best Buy now for $159.99. So let's get into it. I already did one unboxing video for this, but my webcam got all spazzy, so I have to redo it. So we've already kind of unboxed it, but that's okay. I'll show you what's going on with the Eswap here. So here's the box. Obviously, you can see my big ring light as well getting in there, but that's what the box looks like. It comes in, and now let's open it up, and we'll just go through the steps here really quick and show off this controller. Now, so this controller from Thrustmaster, there you go. That's how it comes. There's also two extra analog nubs that I didn't put back in there, but those are like the PlayStation type convex type of analog sticks that you can pop right on there. And then obviously on the bottom, there's a box here for a USB cable, a pouch, and a little fancy tool to get some of the parts out. But a couple things I like from the start. We'll take the controller out now and we'll show it off. So right here, packaging is great. It's very, very soft, and it even comes with this little blocker to block the analog sticks from moving around too much. So you're not going to get a controller that like had its left analog stick, like all the way to the side the entire time it's in the box, which is nice. So going back to Thrustmaster and why we are partnering with them, back when they released their last controller, it was only in Europe, but they were sponsoring a lot of Rocket League players, and I was really, really jealous. And I was like, guys, Thrustmaster, hook me up. And they're like, hey, when we come to America with our new controller, you'll be on that list. So I was very excited, and then they emailed me a few weeks back saying, like, hey, it's coming out. Do you want a part of this? I'm like, yes, absolutely, because this controller looks amazing. And also, a lot of Rocket League players have been using it. I know Astral and Charlset at the very least. I believe there's more, but I can't remember exactly who is using it. But people like this controller a lot. So let's get into the bonuses of this controller, or why this controller is better than most. Now, this controller is for Xbox and PC use. As you can see, has the Xbox branded on it and the buttons that are Xbox as well. Now, the reason why this is so cool, a lot of these parts are just magnetic and come right out. So, boom, there's no analog stick now. And this is the great part, is that you can swap that down to the D-pad spot. I actually have the tool here, and I lost it. Hold on. Got papers around. All right, so it comes with this tool, which can be a little hard to see, but it's like a little T. And then on the other side is your normal screwdriver for the triggers in the back if you want to replace those. But basically, all you do is that little hole in the D-pad in the middle right there. You just pop it in like so, spin. It's going to be hard to see here a little bit, but spin, and it pops right out. As long as I don't completely screw it up. But yeah, boom, pops right out. Now, one of the cool things is that this is magnetic. So now both those are out. I can just pop this in. I don't even have to look while doing it. Just pop it in, and it clicks right in. I don't know if you could hear that click, but pretty satisfying. Anyway, so now you can put the D-pad in on the other side, and boom. Now you got a controller that is more like PlayStation, in case that is what you like. Incredibly easy to replace. One of the nice things is a lot of times with controllers, the analog sticks will get a little drift after a lot of use. Well, the nice thing is they also sent me over, which I don't have I do have the box right here. You can just buy another mini stick if you want to replace it with, in case that does happen. Now, that hasn't happened to me yet. We haven't put this through its paces for an extended period of time, but that is the nice part is if that does happen, then you can just buy another stick, and boom, there you go. I have another one, be like, all right, so this stick, the left analog stick for Rocket League purposes, like if that is not exactly perfect and you want a really, really tight dead zone, you can just pop it out and put in a new one. One of the nice things, too, is like, hey, what if you like playing first-person shooters? And you have one stick that might be a little bit less for a dead zone, that will work, but the other one is like perfect. You could always swap left and right as well. So say like in a first-person shooter, like I want my right analog stick to have a very, very, very small dead zone, so you have like no input delay whatsoever. You can just swap the sticks, and then maybe in Rocket League, say one stick is starting to go that way, then in Rocket League, you could throw it over to the left side of the controller, because it's like, well, I don't really care if the right stick, if that dead zone is that small, but I do care in first-person shooters. So that is one nice benefit there. Now, all the other buttons are Xbox Series X. So we have the share button at the top. and we have two other buttons, start and menus and all of that stuff. Then you got your triggers, which are pretty nice. They have like a grip on top, and then they kind of concave off, or like they just slide off a bit. Now there is different types of triggers on their website if you want to get different versions, which is the best part of this controller. For me personally, is like if you don't like something, or even if you want a different color, you can always pick that up and then make this controller your own. Even the grips on the side. See these grips? Boom, it's gone. It's magnets, again, easy to do. So everything is magnets outside of the two triggers. As you can see there's two little screws at the top. So you just unscrew those and put in new triggers. So for the most part, like everything is incredibly easy, and outside of that, it's one screw, so it's not the end of the world. Now again, we're going to look at the back of the controller a little bit more. They have 4 extra buttons that you can map very easily. There is map buttons on the bottom here to map whatever you want. Incredibly easy. There's 2 profiles as well. One thing I do like about this controller that I don't like about others is when they have paddles. When I'm holding the controller normally, I hold it like this. Normally, where these fingers are would be paddles, and that really bothers me because then I can't use those paddles because I like to have my fingers on it already, and I feel like I'll press it accidentally. But these are actual buttons that are right there, like in the middle, just a bit more, which actually helps me a lot because now I feel like I can actually get some use out of those. So that is a huge plus for me for this controller. Now, the other thing, and maybe one of the last things that we'll talk about with the Thrustmaster Eswap Pro X controller, it's a mouthful. It's Eswap X Pro controller, is the USB cable. Now, a lot of people don't really care about USB cables, but I am not one of those people. So it comes with a micro. I don't know if you can really tell it's a micro connection, but there's some grooves on the side here. See how it's like a little bit curved? It's a little bit hard to see, but they're curved a little bit. The reason for that is you don't want to have any DC issues. Now, this happens with every other controller for me, is I get some DC issues once in a while, like if the cable gets jerked just a little bit. Well, here's where it goes into, and there's little slides, like little vents, I guess you'll call them, on the side there that will keep this locked in. So you put it in, and obviously, like outside of pulling it all the way out, I'm just want to make sure I'm doing it the right way. I'm not doing it the right way. Even when there's grooves, I still do it the wrong way. USB, man, you kill me. So it locks right in there, and now, like, that's not moving. That's not moving at all. Like, I'm pushing on it, it's not going anywhere. So this thing is locked in, and you don't have to worry about that whatsoever. So that is the nice thing there. Actually, I think I didn't even have it in all the way, and it still felt good. There we go. Now it's even more locked in. Okay, so not going anywhere, like not at all. So once it's in, it's staying in unless you pull it out, which is great. You don't want any DC issues. We've seen that even in Rocket League with, who was the last time? Atomic was having issues with his controller. Maybe it was a DC issue. I'm not really sure. But outside of that, this controller is great. One of the other big pluses, and I think this is a good comparison to Xbox controllers, is the bumpers feel completely solid. We'll have to put them through its paces to see if they hold up, but I've always had a lot of issues with Xbox controllers and their bumpers. That's the first thing that always breaks on my controller. So we're going to put it through its paces over the next 3 months. We have a sponsorship with Thrustmaster for 3 months. We'll be doing a lot of gameplay videos and all of that stuff. There's also some software for the controller itself. We'll do that in another video as well. But overall, so far, I really, really like it. I think I'm going to do it in the Xbox way of the analog stick up top. Like, I could do either or. Like, I've played with both a lot, but I'm going to do that really quick right now. I'm just going to pop them in. You can't see it on camera, but just pop them in really quick, and boom. That's probably how I'll use it, and we'll have to test it out. We'll have to try and do maybe a Road to Supersonic Legend. We'll try to get it in Rumble, and then possibly in 2's normal. The last thing, before I forget, the trigger stops. They have those as well up here. So if you put them to the outsides, then the triggers only go down halfway. Great for first-person shooters. And then, obviously, for Rocket League, you want them going the full way, so to get more out of the gas and brake. So that's it for the Thrustmaster Eswap X Pro controller. That's why I have the text on the screen, so I can make sure I don't get it wrong. But it's pretty great. The one last thing, because I keep forgetting, there's always one last thing. I feel like I'm in an infomercial right now, but this controller I'm really excited about. On the bottom, I'll show you this as well in case you want to see it. It's going to be hard to read the text, but basically there's 3 buttons on each side. You can plug your headset in like normal. One side has your microphone mute button. mute button and volume plus and minus, so if you want your headset to be a little bit louder. On the other side, it has 2 profiles and the map button. So for the back buttons, basically, what you want there. There's also going to be some more things with the software for dead zone tightness and all of that stuff. But we'll get into that in future videos. But for now, brand new controller from Thrustmaster, the Eswap X Pro. I keep wanting to call it Pro X. I really do. But there you go. $159.99 at Best Buy right now. There's a link in the description below to help me out, help Eswap out, or I'm sorry, help Thrustmaster out. See, I'm getting all confused with the words. But thank you, Thrustmaster, for sending over the controller. And I hope you guys take a look at this in case you want one of those like elite controllers that you want to last a long time. That's the great thing about this is you can customize it however you want, but that also means that if parts do go bad eventually, because I know how hard you guys grind, then you can always just buy that part separately, and you don't have to buy a brand new controller, which is fantastic. But once again, thank you, Thrustmaster. Oh, it comes with a little pouch, too. Put this out. Look at this. Oh, pouch. Oh, real quick, because before I forget, the analog sticks, they spin right off. So you can spin them off. Boom, it comes right off, and then you can put on like a PlayStation style if you want, which it comes with, or they probably have higher sticks and all that stuff in the shop, but now we have a PlayStation one on there. So in case that is what you like. I personally like the Xbox version of these, so I won't be using those too much. But it's always nice to have. But again, super simple, just screws on. It screws on and off really easily, and then everything else is magnetic outside of the 2 triggers, 2 little screws, and that's it. That's all you got to do to customize your controller. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you again, Thrustmaster. And we'll see you for some gameplay very soon with this controller where I think we can get Supersonic Legend.